of yards. Bruce Smith was in there, got a piece of it. Darryl Talley was also there, and Bruce Mesner, a rookie out of Maryland at nose tackle, got a piece of the action. Tony's carried 7 times for 15 yards today. Tony, 2 years out of Texas A&M, the number 2 rusher on this team, also the second leading receiver. Comes off a touchdown run a week ago against the Jets. 2nd and 7, Philadelphia. Lowers his head, gets a couple more yards. Scott Radicic got his feet out from under him down at the bottom of the sack. Number 97 of the Bills. Here's Keith Byers. Had troubles with a broken foot. Broke his right foot at Ohio State. Broke his left foot in minicamp for the Eagles. It's hampered his progress, and now in his 2nd year out of Ohio State. 4 wide receivers now in for the Eagles on 3rd and 4. Jackson, Carter, Quick, and Garrity. Carter and Quick are wide to the left. Jackson and Garrity to the right. Cunningham hit as he lets it go. It falls incomplete. That was Cornelius Bennett all over Cunningham again. The pass intended for Quick, but Cunningham hit as he let it go, and the pass comes up short. Both teams continue to put extreme pressure on the quarterback.
You're seeing 2 different types of defenses also. The Eagles are up there saying we're not going to give you an inch, and the Bills are a different concept. They're going to bend but not break. They're giving them yardage, but they're getting tough when they get down close to goal line.
Paul McFadden in on 4th down to attempt a field goal. He's hit on 15 of 25 field goal attempts. This one will be from 39 yards. Telchik, the punter, will hold. And the kick is good. So the interception by Evans results in a field goal by McFadden, who's hoisted to the shoulders of David Alexander.
McFadden, his first 2 years in the pros, was a great kicker. He's had some trouble recently, but certainly not on this kick.
Someday, a pyramid will be built for the public good, not for evil. A pyramid that will protect you from catastrophe. A pyramid that will help you prepare for the future.
Today, the power of the pyramid is working for you at Transamerica.
Lafitte, Louisiana and Old Milwaukee both mean something great to these guys. Lafitte means flat-bottom boat racing and a Cajun feast that'll set your mouth on fire. And Old Milwaukee means a great beer, cold, crisp Old Milwaukee beer and smooth, golden Old Milwaukee Light.
There's nothing like the flavor of a special place, an Old Milwaukee beer.
Old Milwaukee and Old Milwaukee Light.
It doesn't get any better than this.
Little more than a year ago, U.S. Sprint set out to create a long-distance fiber optic network so quiet you could actually hear a pin drop. Then we created a way for over 10 million people to take that superior sound quality and savings on the road with the phone card. And now we're creating fiber optic 800 and fiber optic Watt services and other exclusive long-distance products. As the saying goes, we've only just begun.
All the excitement and raw enthusiasm of college basketball is back on NBC. Next Saturday, Dean Smith leads the Tar Heels of North Carolina to battle Walt Hazzard and the Bruins of UCLA. College basketball, it's the stuff weekends are made of on NBC.
Paul McFadden has just set an Eagles record with his 91st career field goal. He had been tied at 90 with Sam Baker, who kicked for the Eagles back in 1964 through 69. So McFadden in the record books with his 91st career field goal, an all-time Philadelphia record. Telchik with the kickoff for the Eagles, taken by Mueller, who fumbles it, then picks it up at the 10, struggles away from a couple of tacklers, and gets it out across the 20 to the 25-yard line. Mueller fumbled it, but then picked it up and made a nice return out of it. It went for 20 yards.
That as an effect, I've seen people fumble a kickoff or stop at the goal line wondering if they're going to take it out of the end zone. The coverage team just pauses for a second. All of a sudden, you get a 100-yard return. It's happened before, and it could happen, almost happen again.
Russell Gary, Dave Little combining on the stop of Mueller, but not before he got it out to the 25-yard line. Jim Kelly's hit on only 2 of 9 for 22 yards and an interception thus far in the game. Philadelphia leads at 3-0, 8.5 left in the first half. Ricky Porter stopped short of the 30-yard line, the 2-year veteran out of Slippery Rock. Porter, who's played in the Canadian Football League, the USFL, and now the NFL. Gained about 5 on that play.
A little different type of a run. You notice it was a quicker hitting play right at the defense. I think against Philadelphia's style of defense, you can't go sideline to sideline. There's just too many guys to block. You've got to hit them quick and hope that their pursuit doesn't get you. You've got to break a seam for a big play.
2nd and 5 for Jim Kelly and the Buffalo Bills. Mueller tripped up and stopped short of the first down. Clyde Simmons was the man that got a hand in there to trip up Mueller. Mueller's the rookie out of Benedictine College.
There's Reggie White, who's lined up over the center in that last play. Ken Hall caused a lot of penetration to slow that play down. There's number 93. Look at his penetration. He gets off the ball rapidly, doesn't he?
It'll be 3rd and 2 for the Buffalo Bills. They have yet to convert a third down. They're 0 for 4. Bills playing for their first winning season since 1981. Kelly under pressure delivers it complete for a first down. Ronnie Harmon struggles forward to the 39-yard line. Gary Cobb and William Frizzell stopping him, but Kelly hits a first down pass the first time in the game. The Bills have converted on 3rd down.
Well, he only completes a 4-yard pass, but he gets it out there. He's got a... You can see he's still just isn't steady in there. His feet are moving, but he completes the pass. He's got a first down. I think he's going to have to gain his confidence bit by bit in this game to get back into it.
6:55 on the clock. 3-0 Eagles lead. 3 of 10 on the day for Kelly. He's thrown an interception. And it's to Mueller. Mueller's got running room. Hurdles a player to stop at the 49-yard line. Davey Mueller, 6'1", 225 pounds, got it going that time, and Andre Waters had to make a saving tackle. Mueller, the number 3 rusher on the team, out of tiny Benedictine College. He was a 2-year NAIA All-American, the number 1 scorer and rusher at Benedictine, gained over 4,000 yards, but the nuances of the game really have been new to him. Only had a 6-page playbook at Benedictine. Kelly's pass tipped. It'll go incomplete. Intended for Metzlars, and somebody up front got a hand on it. Might have been 6'5" Mike Pitts, who was charging in there for Buddy Ryan's Eagles. The homespun Buddy Ryan, who is a horse breeder in Kentucky in the offseason.
Part-time football coach?
I don't think so. I think he thinks football most of the time. But he's big on the horses as well. Mueller on the draw play. Mueller with another good run. Bangs his way short of the 40 to about the 38. Terry Hogue and Byron Evans finally get him down, but Richer and Wolford on the left side of the offensive line for the Bills, opening up a good hole for Jamie Mueller.
On your left side, number 73, Wolford. He's blocking, starts to block down, and he grabs Clyde Simmons there with his left arm. When a man blocks down, if the man comes with you, you have to stay with him blocking, but that time he made sure he stayed with him by grabbing him. Good play.
And Ronnie Harmon got a piece of one of the defenders as well on a pretty good block. And it'll be 3rd and 2 for the Bills at the 42-yard line of the Eagles. 1 of 5 on 3rd downs now after Kelly hit a pass a couple moments ago. And the flag down. I think the play will be waved off as Mueller had it. Delay of game against the Bills, and Buffalo making another critical decision. Critical, not decision, but critical error.
They didn't make their decision.
Yeah, they didn't make it fast enough. They didn't make their decision fast enough. And Kelly pounding himself on the helmet. Marv Levy prowling the sideline. Just when they had the drive going. Instead of a 3rd and 2, it'll be 3rd and 7 for the Bills.
Again, this is the type of defense that you don't want to be 3rd and 7 in. You possibly can get 2 yards, but it's tough to keep those pass rushers out there to go for 7 yards.
3rd and 7. Bills have been penalized 25 yards now. Kelly in trouble. Flag on the play as the pass goes incomplete, knocked down by Russell Gary. But there is a penalty marker down. Andre Reed was the intended receiver.
Andre Waters is complaining. He plays for Philadelphia, so it could be against Philadelphia. Oh. And holding. Two penalties against the Bills.
Declined by the Philadelphia Eagles. Let's see if we can see the offensive pass interference by Reed. I don't know about that.
Well, that could have been defensive pass interference, but I feel that they called Trumaine Johnson for pushing off on Andre Waters.
Here's Kidd punting at a high floating punt. That one over at the top of the rim of the stadium almost, and finally taken down by Morse. So the Eagles will have it in their own territory. When we come back to the vet, let's go to Bob Costas in New York.
Well, the Chiefs are just relentless. No sooner had the Seahawks scored to pull to it in 3 than Paul Palmer takes the ensuing kickoff, and for the second time this year, the rookie from Temple brings a kick back for a touchdown. This one covers 92 yards, and the Chiefs have the Seahawks on the ropes.
Palmer had a kickoff return in the first game of the year for the Chiefs against San Diego, and in the last game he gets one as well. Here at the vet, it's 3-0 Eagles with 5 minutes left in the first half. Cunningham hits John Spagnola, his tight end, out to the 25-yard line. See the clock, inside 5 minutes. Radicek and Bennett, the linebackers, finally sandwiching Spagnola after Cunningham hit him with a pass. Cunningham, 3 years out of Las Vegas, looking in and getting the play from the sideline. On 2nd and 4. He's hit on 4 of 7 for 39 yards today and has an interception. Does Cunningham. And the man open, it fires out of the backfield. At the 45, puts on a move and into Bills territory. Nate Odom finally got him out of bounds, but Keith Byers rambling down the sideline for 30 yards after receiving the pass from Cunningham.
By the right pattern against the right defense, this is man-to-man, something the Bills don't do a lot. You saw number 58, Conlon, take off the outside. He's got Byers, and I think Byers can outrun him. That's what he did. He outran him to the sideline. Good throw, good catch, and you got a lot of yards.
20th reception of the season for Keith Byers, former All-American out of Ohio State, who was runner-up to Doug Flutie for the Heisman Trophy as a senior with the Buckeyes. Cunningham now 5 of 8. Eagles with a first down at the 45 of the Bills. Buffalo changing its defensive front. Cunningham scrambling, got away from one man, got away from another, cuts it up, he's still on his feet. He's at the 30, down the sideline, and knocked out of bounds at the 22-yard line. Randall Cunningham with a great scramble that went for 23 yards. Darryl Talley finally knocked him out.
Here comes Shane Conlon. He's going to come in. It looks like Radicek missed him. Was that? Now Pitts misses him. Bruce Smith misses him. And he gets down the sideline. When the ball's in Randall Cunningham's hand, he's a dangerous man. He can beat you with his arm. He can beat you with his leg.
He's rushed 4 times for 42 yards already. And he has the Eagles back in scoring territory again with 4:06 left. First down at the 22 of the Bills. He fires. Keeps the legs turning. Advances it across the 20 down to the 18-yard line. Bruce Mesner, who's in a nose tackle, got a piece of it.
Offensive line blocking. There's Cornelius Bennett. He's just sticking on Spagnola. He comes off and helps the play inside, but that's good offensive line blocking. They're just getting a surge against the defensive line of the Buffalo Bills.
Byers has carried 9 times for 37 yards now. And it's 2nd and 6 after a 4-yard carry by Byers on the last play. That's the in 3.5 minutes in the first half. 3-0 Philadelphia. Cunningham just floats it with touch to Tony at the 5. Touchdown! Tony, and watch the touch on this ball from Cunningham.
Tony has man-to-man coverage, something the Bills aren't good at. The ball's right there. He beats Cornelius Bennett, and look at this extra effort to get in the end zone, but the ball was right there, well thrown.
McFadden for the extra point. And it's good. So Randall Cunningham with a touchdown pass. Cunningham has accounted for 26 of the 33 Eagle touchdowns for the regular players and has given the Eagles a 10-0 lead with 3:14 left in the first half. Here's Cunningham. Watch his reaction. Nothing to it. Touchdown, Eagles. And Buddy Ryan, the coach on the sideline, he says his quarterback is the most improved in the NFL. He looked good on that one. Anthony Tony making the touchdown catch and then a nice run to get into the end zone. 3:14 left in the first half here, and at halftime we'll go back to New York for NFL Live and all the highlights of the day, plus Frank DeFord's commentary. All coming up at halftime here on NBC. A lot of interesting games, and then Seattle Seahawks continue to struggle in Kansas City. Seahawks, if Denver should lose against San Diego today, could, with a win, take their divisional championship. So look at Ricky Porter, who is awaiting the kickoff by Telchik. Chases Porter into the end zone, and he'll keep it in there. Thought about coming out and then changed his mind. So on the touchback, it'll be the Bills' ball at their own 20. After the Eagles just covered 81 yards for a touchdown. Houston has regained the lead now on Cincinnati, or has taken the lead on Cincinnati. 14-7 Oilers. Indianapolis continues to lead, but just barely by 4. They need to win. Kansas City, we've documented the Chiefs putting it on the Seahawks after Palmer 92-yard kickoff return. The Jets in front of the Giants. Dallas has taken the lead on St. Louis. New Orleans creeping closer, and Detroit and Atlanta tied up. Here it's 10-0 Eagles. Kelly spots Reed. Reed retreats, trying to get some running room, and is hauled down at the out-of-bounds marker. I think he has enough for the first down.
75 coming in from the left side of your screen. He gets good penetration forward, picks him up in the middle. Then he gets back up, and there is Frank Warren making the play, number 73. Frank Warren's a lot taller than Bruce Clark, so he has a little bit more of a reach.
It was Frank Warren instead of Bruce Clark. And it'll be 3rd and 5. Makowski deep. Stanley open for the moment. Can't hang on. Reggie Sutton just activated yesterday. He's been a month on the non-football illness reserve list.
Here he is. He should not allow that man the inside release like that if he's not getting inside help. He's doing a good job of tracking him, but the ball is thrown a little bit short there, and Sutton gets his hands on it. Sutton has a lot of talent. If he goes ahead and takes advantage of it, he'll be a good football player.
That brings on Don Bracken for the second time in the first half.
Nice punt. Very
high. Turns over. Oh, takes a Green Bay bounce. And that will be down at the 8-yard line. 4:55 to go in the first half. Saints only lead with 3-0.
The U.S. is going to...
They knew the former Navy cadet could pull out victory consistently in the most difficult of circumstances. His toughness, intelligence, and leadership earned him respect as captain of America's team. Roger Staubach could always be counted on to perform like a winner.
Judge. We were getting watched. 60 shows again now. And
we're inviting you on a vacation of fine dining.
One life salutes the Olympics. They bring out the dreamer in
play.
Better value, almost $700 less than a Chevy Cavalier C24. You'll agree, when it comes to outstanding value, it's gotta be a Dodge. The Dodge Shadow ES. Gotta be a Dodge.
Page 5 headings. We want them bolder.
Check. Presenting personal publishing with the IBM Personal System 2.
Page 7, artwork, smaller. No, bigger.
Well, make up my mind, will you?
Oh, no!
What?
The bonuses.
Everything your business needs.
Okay, print it.
To create quality documents in-house on short notice.
I'd like you to make a few changes.
Now, get a $1,000 rebate on the IBM. Your dreams easy. No publishing.
At the 2-minute warning, the Eagles with a 10-0 lead over the Buffalo Bills at the Vet in Philadelphia. And Dave, so far, the difference in the game, the difference in the two quarterbacks.
Randall Cunningham's played excellently. Braun throwing the ball well. Jim Kelly just doesn't look like he's shown up yet.
So the Bills' offense, with Kelly having trouble, has sputtered as well, and the Bills have gotten nothing going at all. They have a 2nd and 9 here from their own 32. 2 minutes left in the half. Kelly delivers that one low, and it's dropped by Ronnie Harmon. Kelly, with his head down. As we said, he struggled last week in the game that counted for the Bills. And hasn't regained that excellent passing touch that he showed us throughout his NFL and USFL career, for that matter.
Now, one thing about this pass that's against his zone, he should drill that thing out there rapidly, and he just doesn't seem to get it there. I don't know whether he feels bad or it's just something we're putting on him, but he doesn't appear to be throwing well.
3rd and 9. That one bounces off the receiver. That's one that should have been caught. Terry Hogue took Reed down, but Reed should have been able to hang on to that one. So it's not just Kelly, it's the entire Buffalo offense that left its game back in western New York State. They just have not played well. 2 weeks ago against Indianapolis, they looked like world beaters. Struggled in the bad weather a week ago and not playing well here in Philadelphia. Kidd with a good punt. Fair catch called for by Morse, and he took it at the 25. And there's another example where a guy looked like he had plenty of room to run.
That time, you're 100% correct. He could have gotten 8 or 9 yards just running right at the men rushing down after him. You're 100% correct.
43 yards on the punt by Kidd and no return on the fair catch by Morse. Randall Cunningham and his Eagle offense with 1:43. Time to get something on the board, perhaps. They'll start from their own 25.
If I were the Bills, I'd make sure they don't get any more points. 10 points is enough to catch up with the Philadelphia defense.
Garrett Heat, Quick, and Jackson, the wide receivers. Cardinal Latasi in the backfield from the shotgun. Cunningham stormed under at the 15-yard line. There's Bruce Smith. He gets another sack. Smith second in the AFC in sacks, trailing Tippett of New England. And he might tie him today if he keeps at this pace.
Well, Bruce Smith is one Bill that showed up. There, he throws him aside, just rushes right after him. He says, Darwin, you're not going to block me. That's just Bruce Smith. Bruce Smith, defense number 1.
Cunningham again will try to put it up. Gets away from trouble. And then tosses it to Tony. Tony taken out of bounds. There's a flag on the play. He might have been beyond the line of scrimmage. Illegal forward pass is the call. So Cunningham scrambled, was beyond the line of scrimmage when he let it go to Tony. Still, he showed us good ability to get away from that rush.
Well, he can run and he can throw. There's a lot of athletic ability, and as Buddy Ryan says, he's improving. His receivers say he can pick up the audible now. They can read the defenses much better, and that's where his future is going to be, is by picking up the little things of the game that all quarterbacks have to learn.
Buddy Ryan says he's taken a leadership role on this team, too, that he probably wouldn't have developed had not Ron Jaworski been let go by the Eagles.
Illegal forward pass beyond the line. 5-yard penalty from the spot of the foul, and they lose the down.
Hands over the head means loss of down.
Loss of down and 5-yard penalty from the spot of the foul, says Bob McElwee. So with 1:17 left in the first half, we'll take a break with the Eagles leading the Bills 10-0.
And we criticize so often. Let's praise that good call was made by Terry Gerke, the head linesman. First down and 10, New Orleans, 3:25 to go. Dalton Hilliard. Tackled from behind by Robert Brown. Sellout in New Orleans, but it's been kind of a quiet crowd so far. The Saints fell behind 14-3 on 2 touchdown tosses, Mikowski to Stanley. They have gotten back in the game with 4 field goals from Morton Anderson. It's 17-12 right now with 2:55 to go in the first half. The Saints going after their 9th victory in a row. They trailed at halftime last week in Cincinnati 24-10 and won it big, 41-24. Hebert lobs it out. Dalton Hilliard. Short of the first down at the 43. Robert Brown with the tackle.
Having the ability to make a person miss, does that make a difference? Otherwise, you have to execute everything perfectly, make everybody block perfect and all that. Not the case when you have a guy that can make somebody miss. Dalton Hilliard, number 21. See, now watch him check down. Check out of there. There he goes. Now watch him make a miss. He gets that left foot down. Now he gets to 5 to 6 more yards. This Robert Brown, 93, is playing one heck of a football game.
We will not.
Cunningham has his team on the move again. 2 timeouts left for the 2 teams. Cunningham will go over to the sideline to confer with the coaches. The Eagles have been by far the sharper team today. Marv Levy hoping his Bills can record a winning season with a 7-7 mark coming in. Trailing 10-0, and the Eagles still on the move with 43 seconds left. The Eagles are shooting for what they call a winning season, too, because they're throwing out that 0-3 record during the strike, and the regulars say that they have a chance to have a winning season, and there haven't been many of those in these parts the last few years.
The Eagle regulars really believe that the strike games they were the one team that really stuck together. And as Buddy Ryan said, he really stuck with them. He says he's in it for the long run. He really believes that he wants to stick with this team for many, many years. So they're building it slowly but surely. But to the veterans, this is a very important game.
Second and 3 for the Eagles. Complete to Byers. Byers stops the clock out of bounds at the 45-yard line. Wade Davis covering over there. But the Eagles again stop the clock with 38 seconds left. And they're at the 45 of the Buffalo Bills.
It's rather interesting with all the attention we paid to Mike Quick, and obviously the attention the Bills are paying to him, that Tony and Byers are doing a lot of the damage in the passing game.
First down, Philadelphia. Cunningham to Quick on that last reception. Cunningham is hit on 9 of 12, 125 yards now. Cunningham, another bullet. Greg Garrity makes the catch at the sideline at the 32-yard line. Burrows covering for the Bills. All he could do was watch, and Cunningham suddenly is finding his receivers with pinpoint accuracy.
Actually, Burrows doesn't watch. Watch it go right behind him. He wasn't looking. If he could have turned around, he could have hit the ball. But Cunningham must have known he wasn't going to turn around, and he threaded the needle right in there.
First down, Eagles. 33 seconds left from the 32 of Buffalo. Cunningham on the scramble. Bennett's got him. He lost the football. Bruce Smith has it. Smith has already scored a touchdown this season and recovering a fumble against Indianapolis. He's wrapped up in Eagle territory at the 43. Bennett knocked the ball loose from Cunningham for the second time in this game, and Smith picked it up for the Bills.
Well, here's the pass rush. Darwin's got, he's being blocked well by Darwin on the pass rush, but Cornelius Bennett, he's going to outrun Cunningham and get to him. Now watch this move. He's going to stop, stiff arm, fake here. Now he's going to power run. Tell you, it's a heck of a play, though. Very important, because 13 or 17 points would have been a very, very big lead for the Eagles.
Well, it's the third Eagle turnover in the first half. And it shows you how inept the Bills' offense has been. They have no points. Kelly looks for 6 here. threw it to the wrong man, intercepted. He had a man wide open down the left sideline, but Reed was double covered, and Andre Waters picked it off. He had Trumaine Johnson wide open in the end zone down the left sideline and threw it into double coverage.
Well, what happens so often is you'll get three defenders back in a zone, and they all appear to be open. When you throw it to one man, the other two, but there's a zone. There's just too many people back there. You see the man to the left who left Trumaine Johnson, but you can't complete the pass to any of those deep receivers. They're dropping back. They're stopping that pattern. You've got to throw the ball short.
Well, the interception, back-to-back turnovers in the game, and first down Eagles at their own 14, just 15-6 of the clock remaining. Let's see if they kill it now from their own 15. Doesn't look like it. Cunningham's in the shotgun. Hands it to Tony. Tony to the 16, where he's hit by Cornelius Bennett. That'll be the last play of the first half. So the Philadelphia Eagles have been the dominant team in the first half. Despite 3 turnovers, the defense has held the Buffalo Bills at bay. And Marv Levy's going to try to regroup his offense here at halftime.
They've got to regroup the whole team.
All right, that's the end of the first half of play here at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. NFL Live halftime activities will continue in a moment. The Eagles lead 10-0. We'll be right back after these messages from your local station. Tonight on Family
They're going to run this one, looks like to me. You bet. Full work. And he's down at the 15-yard line. Number 1 draft choice. Now the Saints will call timeout. That'll leave them with 2 at the 109 mark. Timeout number 1. Coming up at halftime. Go back to our New York studios with Brent, Herb, and all the scores. And a tribute to Walter Payton, a man called Sweetness. That's coming at halftime. And that is just 109 away from right now. You know, Jim Mora and his wife had a real near tragedy in their home just a week or so ago. They were robbed at gunpoint by 2 men, and Jim said yesterday, unless you've been through it, you have no idea how terrifying something like that is.
And Jim went ahead and grabbed the gun and pushed it toward the air, and then all of a sudden he started thinking, what am I doing? You know, what am I doing? And then the guy lets him know that, hey, I'm not here alone.
Well, he said
someone's got your wife in the other room with a gun.
Yeah, the second guy had a gun in Connie's head, and they got away. The 2 of them did, but then one was arrested. And they have one in custody. The other is still out, and there's an arrest warrant out for him. But thank God nothing more serious happened. And they do have the one guy. They don't have any of the stuff that they took back yet.
You know, he did say, you know, guys, I'm the head coach of the New Orleans Saints, and it sort of changed their whole frame of mind. It's a good thing he was winning.
109 to go. 17-12. Green Bay leads it. And the handoff comes left.
Good job of playing strong safety by Gene Atkins there, Bert. Good, nice job.
And another timeout called by Jim Mora and the Saints. Paul Caruth with a carry, and he's from Birmingham and actually
floating. Oddly enough, Chris Collinsworth doesn't have a touchdown catch this year. 53 yards here down to the 3. Stanford Jennings scored from the 1 a bit later. Here's Alonzo Highsmith, the rookie out of Miami, with his first NFL touchdown. He makes the catch, bulls through several tacklers, and turns it into a touchdown catch and run from Warren Moon of 33 yards. They approve at the Astrodome. After Moon scored on a 1-yard keeper, he goes deep to Givens. Ernest Givens stumbling down to the 1. Actually, it was the Moon touchdown that followed that play. And a bit later, Highsmith scored on a 4th down play from the 1 himself. The second TD of the game for Highsmith, and it's 21-7 in favor of the Oilers. Indianapolis against Tampa Bay. The Colts are champs in the Eastern Division of the AFC if they win this one. Should they lose it, then the winner tomorrow night between the Patriots and Dolphins will sneak in. Eric Dickerson with a 6-yard scoring run. Indy with the lead. Late in the second quarter at the Hoosier Dome, 7-3. They're favored by 11 in this game. The wildest game of the day so far, without question. Kansas City and Seattle. Norm Johnson just kicked another field goal for the Seahawks. It's 24-20 in favor of the Chiefs. Before we look at the highlights, let's note the fact that Charlie Joyner's record, well, we'll come back to that in a moment. Here along the sidelines, you see Steve Largent. He broke Charlie Joyner's record for receptions today. Here's Herman Hurd on the first possession of the game for either team. He goes 37 yards for a Kansas City touchdown and a 7-0 lead. After the next kickoff, it's Seattle's first time with the ball, and they cash it in. Dave Craig will hit Largent, 15-yarder, touchdown. It's even up at 7. Following a Nick Lowry field goal, Bill Kenny goes up top. Terry Taylor is the cornerback for the Seahawks, badly beaten on the play. Carlos Carson takes off, 81 yards. It's 17-7. Craig then threw one to Paul Scansey, made it 17-10, or 17-14, I should say. And then on the next kickoff, here is Paul Palmer, the rookie out of Temple, with his second kickoff return for a touchdown this year. This one covers 92 yards, and Kansas City adds to their advantage. At that point, it was 24-14. Norm Johnson has kicked 2 field goals since then to make it 24-20 as the Seahawks sneak back to within 4. Ahmad?
This is the toughest game that Seattle will be in all year because I've been in this situation before. Kansas City has nowhere to go. This is, in fact, their Super Bowl, and they are playing Seattle as tough as they can. The only way you can beat a team like this is you got to get out front, way out front early in the first half, and then all of a sudden they start thinking, well, we can't win the game. As long as you let them stay in the game, they'll play you tough right to the end because they have nothing to lose, and if they win this game, it somehow salvages the year. You feel better on your way home.
Let's talk about Steve Largent. You have to admire, as a former receiver, what he's done. He's caught the 5 passes in the first half. 751 lifetime. He moves past Charlie Joyner.
The consummate wide receiver. Here's a guy who learned his talent earlier. He's the type of guy that can run pass routes. He's able to catch the ball. And when you learn how to run pass routes early in your career, it's something that lasts forever. If he loses a little speed, he still knows how to get open, and that's what he's been doing every game.
There's another sidelight on this Kansas City-Seattle game. It marks the first broadcast by a female play-by-play announcer in the National Football League. Gail Sirens is calling the action for NBC, and as luck would have it, there's been more action in this game than in any other in the league thus far. Let's take a listen to some of the work of Gail Sirens in the first half.
10 from the 37. The pitch to Herman Hurd. Hurd moves ahead, gets that pass to 35, still on his feet, and he's off. Touchdown, Kansas City, Herman Hurd. Norm Johnson has to kick it off for Seattle.
Sounds pretty good, but of course nobody knows anything for sure until they read Rudy Martzke tomorrow morning. The Giants, USA Today, inside stuff. The Giants lead the Jets in the battle for bragging rights in New York, 10-7 in favor of the Giants at the Meadowlands. Sims to Bavaro, a 12-yard touchdown pass. Dallas and the Cardinals, a 14-3 lead for the Cowboys in Dallas. Now, if the Cardinals win this one, they've got a wild card. If they lose, Minnesota backs in. Philadelphia over Buffalo in the game you're watching, 10-0. Kelly at halftime, 4 of 16, 39 yards, 2 interceptions. Reggie White with 1 sack. It gives him 20 for the season. Green Bay and New Orleans. New Orleans has to win and then hope that San Francisco loses tonight to the Rams. In that case, they're champs of the NFC West. But the Packers are giving them a tough time at the Superdome. 17-12, that one's at the half. Detroit and Atlanta. If the Lions lose this game, they console themselves with the #1 draft choice in the next draft. Atlanta is in front, 13-10. This one is halftime in Atlanta. And we'll continue with Frank DeFord joining us following these messages from your local station.
Martina Navratilova. She's done it again. This is as good as it gets. Doesn't get any better than this.
Welcome back to New York, everybody. And Irv, Tom Landry and the Dallas Cowboys are trying to give the Minnesota Vikings and their fans a Christmas present.
You know, the Cowboys today look like a playoff team. They're playing the Cardinals as tough as anybody plays them this year. And you have to admire the way Tom Landry's gotten them up for this ballgame.
In the first half of the game, Herschel Walker has rushed for 83 yards. He scored 2 touchdowns, one up the middle. This time, he gets to the outside and steps in. And the Cowboys lead the St. Louis Cardinals 14-3. And if the Cowboys win it, the Vikings then would be a wild card, and they would play in either New Orleans or San Francisco. Tampa Bay and Indianapolis, moments ago, the Colts kicked this Biasucci field goal, and that put them ahead 10-3. Eric Dickerson with a 6-yard touchdown run earlier in the game. And, of course, the Buccaneers settling for that 1 field goal so far. If the Colts win it, they are the champions of the AFC East. They have just gone to the half of that game. Detroit and Atlanta, the battle for the first draft choice. If the Lions lose it, they will get the first pick. They could take Tim Brown of Notre Dame if they want him. 13-10 Falcons at the half. The Jets and the Giants are ahead by 3 in the second quarter. And Buffalo being shut out by Philadelphia now, 10-0 there at the half over in Philly. Kansas City and Seattle, this is the wildest game of the day. 92-yard touchdown return on a kickoff by Paul Palmer of the Chiefs. The second kickoff he has taken back for a touchdown this year. Cincinnati and Houston, the Oilers trying to wrap up a wild card spot. They lead the Bengals at the half 21-7. Green Bay and New Orleans, of course, the game you are watching, 17-12. Herb, I've got to ask you about this one play. An interception was not called in this sequence. Do you think it should have been ruled in the grass?
No, I don't. You know, the in the grass rule, take a look at here. Hebert rolls out to his right. Now, the in the grass rule was set up to protect the quarterback in the pocket. Now, once they roll out like this, to get outside that offensive tackle, you know, the referees normally have a little more leeway on that ruling. They called, he was in the grass. I don't think he should have been called that. It should have been an interception Green Bay.
All right, Packers with the lead there. We get an update now on the Giants and the Jets, and it is 16-7. Sims throws a touchdown pass for the Giants. Odessa Turner, the receiver. And we will continue after these messages from your local stations.
This holiday season, the champions of football roll on CBS Sports. December 31st, South Carolina battles LSU. New Year's Day, Heisman winner Tim Brown ignites Notre Dame against Texas A&M. And next Sunday, the NFC playoffs begin with a wild card game. The good times roll on CBS Sports. Come on, baby, let the good times roll. Roll on and on.
This is CBS.
Your heart and laws of this state. According to the Constitution and laws of this state. Congratulations, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Well, you'd have to say that George Young failed as a general manager this year, but 1987 was an even finer victory for his judgment.
George Young is an interesting individual. As you say, he has a varied background, something of a Renaissance man, very well-read individual, can quote from the classics. Not the sort of person you usually find around the sports scene.
He told me one time, as a matter of fact, if you woke him up in the middle of the night and asked him who he was, he'd say, I'm a high school teacher. And I'm sure the cynics will say he was a general manager this year, like a high school teacher. But I have a hunch the Giants will be back next year. I think this was something of an aberration.
Let's make another point, and that's about how difficult it appears to be in all sports these days at the professional level, and equally true in football, to repeat.
This will be the 9th straight year that we did not have a repeater, because, of course, the Giants can't. Baseball is even more extreme. 10 different teams have won in the last 10 seasons, the World Series, and the most before ever was 5. So it's really an extraordinary situation.
Although the Cardinals, if they had won a couple of 7th games, could have been 3-time champions between 82 and 87. They've been there 3 times.
They've been there, but it's that old thing, if a frog could fly if it didn't bump its rear end on the ground, Bob.
I say that often myself. Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be back as NFL Live halftime activities continue. Please stay with us.
Well, certainly all of us on the NFL Today want to wish you the very best this holiday season. And, you know, it was over a decade ago that I can recall the Bears drafting a running back out of obscure Jackson State and wondering, along with the rest of the Chicago press and fans, whether the team had blown yet another #1 pick. Well, we were very quick to find out that Walter Payton was someone very special on the field and off. And although he still has some business to finish before he heads for the Hall of Fame, we'd like to pay tribute to the NFL's all-time leading rusher. Irv Cross profiles the player who has given all of us so many moments of enjoyment over the last 13 seasons.
I've been blessed because God's given me the physical ability and the will
And I never wanted to look back and say, well, I could have did this or I could have done this a little bit better, or if I'd have worked a little harder. So that's why I try to play every play as hard as I put a limitation on your ability and what you can accomplish.
It's a measure of the man who worked hard all his career. And in 1984, he reached the mountaintop, his season of peaks and valleys.
Peyton. He's got it.
And his greatest moment was close at hand.
That same year, we went to Washington. Washington was favored. They hadn't been beaten at home in a playoff game in so long, and we ended up beating them there. And that was a high point.
What would you say, as a pro ball player, you felt like you'd really hit rock bottom, if you ever did?
Low point. It was the game when we played out in San Francisco for the championship. That was the lowest point. It had taken me 10 years to get there. And I know I didn't have 10 years left, and I figured maybe this would be as close as I get to the Super Bowl.
I think that when God said, you know, maybe a fullback or a halfback, he might have said Sayers and he might have said Brown. But when he said, I'm going to build me the best football player that ever lived, he probably said two names, maybe Jim Thorpe and Walter Payton.
Success has its rewards. He's free to enjoy quiet times at home and the life of a sportsman away from the crowds and cheers.
Number 34 will be retired.
Were you surprised?
I was surprised. That was something I hadn't even thought of. No, I was going to steal all the jerseys anyway.
Although his playing career is over, he's now determined to move up football's corporate ladder.
A lot of people do things in life for the money. A lot of people do things in life to fulfill dreams, to fulfill voids in their lives. I'm doing it for a combination of all of them. And what everybody seems to forget and to overlook is it was all fun, and that's what it's all about. I enjoyed it, and I had a great deal of fun, and nobody can take that away from me.
Jimmy, we had a great deal of fun watching.
Listen, he's contributed not only to the game of football, but the families and the children. Sweetness is really the greatest.
And Irv, his future?
Very bright. Of course, he plans to buy an NFL franchise, but the Bears have decided to set up a special foundation that Walter will run to raise money for players who retired before 1959 who don't qualify for the pension plan.
No, and all of us will miss his efforts on behalf of the Chicago Bears. Right now, let's send you back to the stadium and the game you're enjoying here on CBS.
Halftime at the Superdome in New Orleans, where the Saints are on an 8-game roll, but they are trailing at halftime by 5, 17-12. CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League will continue after this message and a word from your local station.
Stopped at the 40-yard line. Gary Cobb, the outside linebacker, playing tough for the Eagles. 9 years out of Southern Cal. He's the security blanket, Buddy Ryan says, for his defense.
Yeah, Buddy says he can play any different linebacker position, and he likes that because it's a technical defense with a lot of calls. You have to have somebody, if a man gets injured, you know is not going to make a mental mistake.
2nd and 6 upcoming for the Bills. Jamie Mueller has carried 7 times for 36 yards now. Kelly has his pass deflected. It's incomplete. Clyde Simmons, 6'6", had a hand up and deflected Kelly's pass, intended for Burkett on the sideline.
Kelly's shaking his head. What else can go wrong, he said.
It'll be 3rd down coming up for Buffalo. And the Eagles come with their nickel package, 6 defensive backs. Opening possession of the second half. Philadelphia leading Buffalo 10-0. Bills have converted 2 of 8 third downs. Kelly hit as he let it go. It's incomplete. Too high for Burkett, the intended receiver. Kelly's been high on a lot of his passes today. Felt the pressure that time, but is there any reason he would deliver the ball high consistently?
I wouldn't know unless there's something wrong with his delivery or his hands are too cold. He doesn't have warm hands. The ball's slipping out of his hands. I've seen him rub his hands. Maybe the cold weather's bothering him.
John Kidd with his first punt of the second half. time he'll run. And he'll be dragged down in his tracks. Good coverage by the Bills on special teams. A 40-yard punt -1 on the return. Linger downfield to make the tackle. There's a flag on the turf right at midfield. Bob McElwee will sort it out. Excellent coverage that time by Bill's special teams, and we know that Marv Levy puts a lot of emphasis on that. But a penalty against Buffalo.
Perhaps the special teams are the unit that's going to come out and try and make the difference for the Bills. And that's one-third of the game. They can make the difference when the offense may be lacking.
Post possession foul. 37 on the receiving team while the ball was in the air. Illegal block in the back.
Well, he signaled against Buffalo a moment ago. This time he says it's against the Eagles.
The officials are having a tough time.
Illegal block in the back. Post possession. Penalized to the 10-yard line. Timeout.
Illegal block in the back and a post-possession penalty, so it'll take it back to the 10-yard line. The Eagles backed up, but leading by 10.
Introducing a small sedan made the Mazda way. The new Mazda 323 SE has a bunch of technical sophistication, like fuel injection, a roomy interior, lots of standard features, all backed by the best warranty in its class. I'm not kidding. You've got to check out this Mazda 323. Not only is it the best value in a small sedan, it also has the solid feel and performance of an expensive road car.
This is the Mazda way.
No better value? Right. Look at the new Tandy family of business computers. These 286 and 386 based computers offer the connectivity and compatibility to let existing PCs share data. They run MS-DOS as well as tomorrow's OS2 software. And you can count on a proven track record of quality from a company with 66 years of technological leadership. That does add up to better value.
Tandy Computers, because there is no better value. Only at Radio Shack Computer Centers.
Before and Afrin. Relieve the pressure and the pain. What Afrin does in 5 minutes takes Sudafed over an hour. It's the #1 recommended nasal spray.
Listen to the sound of a closer, smoother shave. Williams Electric Shave sets up my beard, so my shaver shaves closer, and I get a smoother shave. Listen to Williams Electric Shave. The sound of a closer, smoother shave.
Today's game is brought to you by Mazda, bringing performance and value together. That's the Mazda way. By IBM. And by U.S. Sprint. We're building the first and only 100% digital fiber optic network clear across America.
Tom Allen to Dave Casper, Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. First down for the Eagles, backed up at their own 10-yard line. They're leading 10-0 in the first quarter. Keith Byers. Wrapped up and taken down. No gain on the play. He was able to string it out to the sideline. But Radicic and McNamee were there to take him out of bounds for no gain. Byers has carried 10 times now for 37 yards on the day. 2nd and 10 coming up for the Eagles.
Is making the play, but Bruce Smith couldn't make it from behind. They cut off the pursuit of the Bills defense, and that kind of a cutback run that Byers is good at turns out to be a heck of a play, big play.
And that puts Byers' rushing total for the game now up to 60 yards. Gives the Eagles a first down at their own 32. Got them out of trouble in the center of their own goal. Here's Quick on the reception. He's across the 40 to the 42-yard line. Odoms and Conlon stopping Quick. After he made the reception, though, Quick on his way to the Pro Bowl has caught 2 now for 17 yards.
I I think right on that play, to me, showed the difference in this game. Randall Cunningham dropped back and drilled that ball on a line to Quick, and he's got 10 yards in what appears to be a very, very simple play, but it gives you 10 yards. The Bills have had trouble getting 3 yards in a play like that.
Mike Quick, the All-Pro, here he is in action.
The key is look at how much room he's going to get because of his speed and his ability. He only runs down 5 yards, and look, still he has 5 more yards of pushing, and he gets 10 yards.
He's the number 4 Philadelphia receiver all time, now with 319 career receptions. He needs only 45 yards in this game to take over number 3 all time in yardage from Pete Pihos. First down at the 42 for the Eagles. Cunningham gets rid of it to Tony. Tony out of bounds after a gain of about 7. Cornelius Bennett knocked him out of bounds, but Bruce Smith was putting the pressure on Cunningham, able to get away and complete the pass, though.
Cunningham shaking his head, saying, boy, give me a relief from this Bruce Smith. Look at this. Look at his good footwork. He keeps his balance as he makes the penetration through Schreiber, but Cunningham gets the ball up and completes it. He somehow makes the play. Under pressure, Cunningham gets the ball to Tony to make a positive gain out of what looks to be a negative play.
Cunningham has hit on 12 of 15 for 159 yards and a touchdown this afternoon. Tony cuts it up. He's got a first down to the 45 of Buffalo. Talley and Conlon, a couple of the linebackers, stop him, but he's got a first down, and the Eagles continue to move the chains.
I don't know if you noticed what I noticed, Tom, but there were 2 plays being run out there. The man in motion came in to block a trap up the middle, the wingback, and then they pitched the ball in the sweep to the right, and the play still gained 4 yards, and you wonder if it just isn't going to be the Philadelphia day.
Look at the comparison of quarterbacks today. Kelly has struggled for the Bills, only 5 of 19 and 2 interceptions. Meanwhile, Cunningham directing the Eagle offense with precision. Here's his first down handoff to Byers. Byers spinning ahead. He's got 8 yards. He's got 9 and close to a first down. Keith Byers will not go down. Buddy Ryan says Keith Byers is going to have to prove to him that he's willing to work and willing to play, and looks like he's trying to show the coach something in this game.
Well, there's 2 different times an athlete has to work. One in practice for the coach, but another one in the game for the money. And he's working right now today, and if I were Buddy Ryan, I would look at this more important than practice, because if he can do that, he'd be a ball player for me.
He got 9 yards on that one. It's second down and a little less than a yard for the first down, as Buddy Ryan has seen his team play very well here, and to take away the 3 turnovers, they would have an excellent game in progress. They lead at 10-0, and they're driving on the Bills. 9 minutes left in the third quarter. Hand off to Tony. Tony's thrown back, but he has the first down. Let's check the other games around the league now. Houston trying to make it into the playoffs. The 2-touchdown lead on the Bengals. Indianapolis now up by 7. They need to win for that Eastern Division championship. The Giants by 10 over the Jets. Dallas trying to end the Cardinals' playoff hopes. Green Bay continues to lead, but the Saints got a little closer, now within 5. And in the battle for the top draft pick, Detroit is either winning because they're behind or losing if you count the score. Cunningham, again, nice touch to Spagnuolo across the middle. Ball comes loose, but I think it was down. Ball ruled dead at the 25-yard line. Philadelphia still has it. Shane Conlon put the wraps on Spagnuolo. And Kaiser came away with the football, but ruled down at the 25.
Well, first of all, there's going to be no replay because the officials won't relook because they blew the whistle, so the ball's got to be dead. And he's down right now, as you saw his knee hit, but when the official blows the whistle, they've quit doing that extra replay to wonder if it was right or was wrong. It doesn't make any difference because the whistle was blown.
Again, though, did you see the soft touch on the Cunningham pass? He's drilled it when he's had to. He's laid it up there when it's been the proper move.
Tom, that's a good point.
Byers, another nice run for Byers. He's at the 11 of the Bills. Kelso hanging on for dear life as Byers runs again with a vengeance.
In the words of Bum Phillips, every man get a man, every good man get 2, and that's what this type of an offense is. It's man on man. Look at Tony lead through. That distorts the defense. You flip the ball, and you get every man, and you hope that the defense can't keep their perspective splits as they go out there. You distort them, and Byers picked up that hole and gained a lot of yards.
And is closing in on 100 yards. He's up to 82 now. 82 yards on 12 carries for Keith Byers. Philadelphia first down at the Bill 11. Byers again. Down at the 1-yard line.
Well, that's football there. I mean, I like this kind of a game because I was a blocker when I played. And when linemen watch their back find a hole like this, it really makes them feel good. Byers is finding the hole. The linemen are giving him the hole, and he's running hard and getting that extra yards. It really kind of puts a chill down your spine as an offensive lineman.
Mark Kelso is taking punishment as he again makes the tackle on Byers, but pays the price, knocks flat on his back, and Byers up to 93 yards now. 3 tight ends, Spagnola, Little, and Giles. Second down, the ball at the 1-yard line. Flag down. Tony is in the end zone, but there's a flag on the play. Offside against Buffalo. Touchdown, Eagles.
You can see the offside. Smirlis beat the ball when he jumped offside, but the ball didn't even look like it was in the end zone. It looked like he hit on the half-inch line.
So Anthony Tony now has gained 29 yards and has scored his second touchdown of the game. 6:09 left in the third quarter, and McFadden will try to add the extra point. So the Philadelphia Eagles add to their lead. They score on their first possession in the third quarter, and with 6:09 left, the Eagles make it 17-0. Here's Tony again. Couldn't see for the down marker that time. But Tony's having a big afternoon. So are the Eagles. 17-zip.
Nowadays, when it comes to telecommunications, there's a great deal of confusion. With so many different products and services available, it's a real problem knowing what's just right for your company. Well, we have a way to end that confusion and solve those problems. We can help custom tailor an entire telecommunications system to your company's exact needs. No. GTE.
Introducing a high-performance luxury sports coupe made the Mazda way.
If you like the idea of going places in a hurry, check out Mazda's all-new MX-6 GT. A turbocharged, intercooled 12-valve road machine that'll outrun the top-of-the-line Honda Prelude and still run you a cool $2,000 less. Believe me, you don't have to drive it this hard to love it. You just have to drive it.
Being an all-round cowboy isn't always the case of throwing a perfect loop. Sometimes it's a sack of potatoes. And when you're ready for a second opinion, head to the beer brewed natural as a mountain stream.
Well, that was really good. Want some more? Sure.
Head for the mountains of
The best and brightest of the bowls are on NBC. Kick off the new year at the Fiesta Bowl as the third-ranked Florida State Seminoles battle All-American quarterback Steve Taylor and the fifth-ranked Cornhuskers of Nebraska. On New Year's Day, college football's best and brightest are on NBC.
A very impressive drive by the Philadelphia Eagles that covered 90 yards in 11 plays. Anthony Tony on a 1-yard run to give the Eagles a 17-0 lead. Telchik will kick it off for Philadelphia. Taken by Porter at the 5-yard line. Porter got them blocking down the sideline. And a good return across the 40 to the 43-yard line. Maybe that'll light a fire. A 38-yard return by Porter. On the stop, Telchik, the kicker, and Evan Cooper, who was on special teams for the Eagles. So far today, the Eagles have rushed for 170 yards, the Bills for only 54. We've documented the problems of Kelly, who see in his last 7 games, he has been brilliant. If you throw out especially last week's effort against the Patriots, but today he has not been good. That pass complete to Harmon. Stopped at the 49 and driven back by Terry Hogue. Terry Hogue, the former All-American out of Georgia, picked up last year as a free agent by the Philadelphia team.
Didn't he finish fifth in the Heisman Trophy balloting?
He was fifth indeed, highest ever for a defensive back.
But he said his roommate was a publicist. So he had a little help.
Second and 4 for Buffalo. Fake it to Mueller. Swing it to Harmon. Ronnie Harmon with a nice piece of running just to get back to midfield. Made a gain a yard before Reggie White put the clamps on him. Eagles defense that very well, and Harmon with a nice run just to get a yard or two.
It appeared to be an audible. You saw Jim Kelly direct him before the snap. Reggie White on the pass rush. It's a quick play, of course, he's not going to get there, but as an audible, you'd like to get a little bit more than 1 yard when you get the play you'd like.
Did you say he was not going to get there? He got there to make the tackle. He's amazing. Third and 3 for Buffalo. From the shotgun. Pressure. Kelly's pass incomplete. Gary Cobb with a tough hit on Reed knocks the ball loose as Kelly felt the pressure again.
Watch this part. Just keeps on for turn those legs. How many pounds of people did he go through? 600 pounds of individuals there?
And Seth Joyner decked Kelly just as he released the ball. John Kidd's right leg is getting a workout today. Kidd with another nice punt. Morse calls for the fair catch and takes it at the 13-yard line. 38-yard punt that time by Kidd, but a high punt that forced the fair catch. And again, backs the Eagles up. Remember, though, they went 90 yards on their last possession. They'll have the ball here, leading by 17.
Why is this man being so unfair to his wife? Enjoying his cold relief while she suffers, feeling no desire to sneeze while she stifles hers, without all the coughs and the runny nose that torture her night, resting in the same bed where she tosses and turns. Why? Because while she took that cold tablet, he took NyQuil. The nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, stuffy head fever so you can rest medicine. Now a new cherry flavor, too.
So what's little dandruff?
Okay. Imagine you're at the social event of the year, and your dream girl says hello, just as you do this. Her first impression? What a hunk. It's only a few flakes.
Give me a break.
The breaks are you never get a second chance to make a first impression.
So?
The regular shampoos won't fix your problem. Try this.
Head and Shoulders? But you don't have dandruff.
Bingo.
Head and Shoulders, because you never get a second chance to make a first impression.
Scottsdale, Arizona. Built from little more than desert sun and desert air. Where city leaders use computers to connect every department of city government. Computers from Unisys. Unisys helps Scottsdale's leaders meet growing demand so efficiently that over the last 6 years, property taxes have actually gone down. Unisys and government, the power of two. The best and brightest of the bowls are on NBC as the Pac-10 champion USC Trojans make their record 25th appearance to take on All-American Lorenzo White and the Big Ten champion Michigan State Spartans. It's the granddaddy of them all, the Rose Bowl. On New Year's Day, college football's best and brightest are on NBC.
The Eagles have been impressive so far. They lead the Bills 17-0 here in the third quarter. Yesterday, Buddy Ryan told us he's only a couple of players away from the playoffs. Maybe 2 or 3 years contend for the Super Bowl. They look like it today.
Yeah, and Buddy Ryan's optimistic. I was looking at his wall in his office, and I see there on his wall it says Irish American Optimist of the Year Award. So it doesn't take a lot for him to be optimistic.
Keith Byers hit and dropped for a loss of the play by Gerald Talley. Talley's played a good game. Bruce Smith, of course, has. Bennett, we haven't heard much of Conlon today, however. been the Bills' defense that's been the problem. It's been the offense that has really not gotten anything going at all.
The offense hasn't kept their defense off the field. It gets tiring when you're pass rushing and you're chasing the run all day long.
2nd and 11 for the Eagles. Cunningham's pass across the middle to Spagnuolo, wide open across the 20, down to the 23-yard line, close to a first down. Scott Radicic covering, but Spagnuolo was wide open.
Watch Shane Conlon, number 58, rush the passer, and watch Schreiber just stuff it. That's what the Philadelphia linemen have been doing to their defensive linebackers, just standing there planting their feet and stuffing it. That's football.
It's been impressive for the Eagles. Their offensive line has been together since February of this year. They came in early, they worked. Did a good job today. Young, but very effective. 3rd and a yard. Cunningham carried, and Radicic stopped in, and the spot on the ball, I believe, will get Philadelphia a first down. It does. Cunningham is 6'4", 192 pounds. He's a potent weapon. The quarterback that can run can really add another dimension to your offense.
One thing you have to notice about Randall Cunningham, he not only runs, but he keeps his eyes downfield looking to throw. If you run and you don't throw, your receivers will stop running their routes and stop getting open for you.
Cunningham over 500 yards, the leading rusher on this Eagles squad. Over 500 yards on the ground this season. Pitch to Tony. Got a couple of tough yards for Cornelius Bennett. And Shane Conlon, I call them the $1 million bills. They were there to stack up the play.
The right side, this is Tamburello pull. There's Conwell. Cornelius Bennett, by his penetration, stopped this play. Tony couldn't get there in time. He comes. You can see that. You see the play being made, but they're staying with their men. This play didn't turn out to be a great one, but over the course of this game, the right side has really been moving the left side of the Bills line away.
Shane Conlon, leading tackler on the Bills squad, over 100 in his rookie season. 2nd and 8. Myers. He's at the 30 with a flag on the play. Cornelius Bennett stopping Myers. It's likely to be a penalty against the Eagles. Started the day in sunshine here in Philadelphia, but the sun behind the clouds now is starting to get chilly.
Motion, 79 offense, penalty is declined, 3rd down.
Joe Conwell with the illegal motion call, but the penalty declined. Buddy Ryan and a huddle of coaches on the sideline.
The Eagles have been a fairly mistake-free team in this game so far. It's one of the few penalties for the Eagles.
3rd and 8 for Philadelphia. They converted on 4 of 8 third down. I said 3rd and 8. I think 3rd and 4. Byers. Top short of the first down. There's another flag. Mark Kelso, the free safety, wrapped him up. Holding against Philadelphia. Don't think he made the first down, so they'll decline the penalty.
Cornelius Bennett was in the backfield, causing a lot of trouble.
What's your assessment of Cornelius Bennett, the highly touted rookie out of Alabama, who couldn't come to terms with the Colts and was traded in the Eric Dickerson deal to Buffalo?
Well, he certainly helped the Bills' defense, but when you watch him, he's quicker than a hiccup. That guy can really move, and it's tough to block somebody you can't catch.
Penalty is declined, and Philadelphia will have to punt it. Telchik. Pitts is ready for it for Buffalo. Low punt. Bounces on the 30. Pitts takes it on the first hop. And then it's taken down at the 25-yard line. Great coverage by the Philadelphia Eagles. Tautalipasi was the man that made the tackle. Here's Jim Kelly coming back. He hasn't got anything going yet. He's down 17.
Okay, let's get moving. First, we'll need work from every department. Who's set up for that?
Our computers are tied in.
Mike, how long for graphics?
2-3 days max. Our computer can do it in a day.
It's yours. Joni, typesetting and printing?
About a week on overtime.
Now, hold on. Now, who published this?
We did, on the computer.
Well, do it again. Last, we need presentation overheads. Any ideas?
Buck, we've got trouble in the corral.
Chasing a wayward bull's one thing. Bringing him home's another.
Boy, I never seen that before.
And when you found a way to lure him back, you head for the mountain.
Push.
Head for the beer brewed natural as a mountain stream.
Introducing the Mazda way of offering a warranty.
You've heard about those 5, 6, 7-year warranties, but do you know where their coverage really ends? Right about here. Powertrain only. But the Mazda way to take care of you is with one of the very best warranties in the business. A new 36-month or 50,000-mile warranty, which provides coverage bumper to bumper. Others have their way. This is the Mazda way.
The best and brightest of the bowls are on NBC as the #1 Oklahoma Sooners take on the only team to have beaten them in 3 seasons, the #2 Miami Hurricanes. A battle of undefeated for the national championship at the Orange Bowl. On New Year's Day, college football's best and brightest are on NBC.
50 seconds left in the third quarter. The Bills needing points in a hurry. Kelly's in the shotgun on first down. Kelly's pass complete for a first down. Burkett on the sideline makes the catch for about 13 yards. William Frizzell got him out of bounds. But a lot of football yet to come on NBC, including the New Year's Day bowl lineup, starting with a Fiesta Bowl, Nebraska against Florida State at 1:30 Eastern Time. The Rose Bowl is next. And then for the national championship. In the evening, it'll be Oklahoma #1 against second-ranked Miami, starting at 8 o'clock. And George Faithful, our producer, John Gonzalez, our director today, will head that Orange Bowl production team. And they'll be along the sideline. Don Fricky and Bob Trumpy in the booth. It'll be an exciting evening. Harmon with the catch. Buffalo trying to get something going. 30 seconds left in the quarter.
Bill's going with a speed-up offense, no huddle. I don't know whether they're trying to make sure that Buddy Ryan can't make the necessary calls in his defense or just feel that there's not enough time left to score.
See, that's been an exercise in futility for this offensive unit. Reed across the middle, falls down, but he's got a first down. He's to about the 43-yard line of the Eagles as we're inside 10 seconds.
What could be a good idea? Maybe Marv Levy says, hey, you guys are sitting in your huddle, you're not doing anything. Let's just go. Let's go fast. Let's go rapidly. Let's change the pace of our offense and see if we can't get something going.
Best drive of the afternoon for the Buffalo Bills. It comes as we reach the end of the third quarter. The score, Philadelphia 17, Buffalo nothing. We'll be right back after a word from your local station.
Once upon a time, a princess fell for a prince of a guy.
Did I spend the night with you?
Technically, yes. Catherine Oxenberg and Tom Conti and Rowan Holiday, Monday.
This should give you some idea of the difference between beer and Genesee Cream Ale. Smooth Genesee Cream Ale. It's not the same old brewski.
When there's a need, when there's a need, there's Rome Savings Bank.
When you're looking for a new car, we can help you get behind the wheel with a new car loan from Rome Savings Bank. People say we have the best rates in town.
There's Rome Savings Bank.
Attention. If you're shopping for a new car this week, this is a very special alert. The Lincoln Mercury Sales Alert. Now, save over $1,500 on Mercury Cougar with a popular equipment package and $600 customer cash. Save over $1,400 on Sable with a popular equipment package and $600 customer cash. Or get $400 customer cash on Mercury Tracer. We're standing by and ready to deal, but be alert. See your upstate New York Lincoln Mercury Mercor dealer.
Game is property of the National Football League. The Buffalo Bills and Philadelphia Eagles, all rights reserved. The telecast presented by authority of the National Football League, intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of the telecast without the express written consent of the Philadelphia Eagles and the National Football League is prohibited. First down, Buffalo. Handed off to Porter. Porter hit at the 40 and falls forward to the 38-yard line. Jerome Brown popped him, and Porter got another couple of yards. Buffalo again going without a huddle. Marv Levy trying to shake things up. Second and 7. Blitz is on. Kelly lets it go. He's going to be ruled down in the grass. White and Waters are right there. And Reggie White, again, getting close to that total of 22, the record set by Mark Gastineau.
They're going to bring a safety blitz and bring White on the sack. Obviously, Buddy Ryan says if you're going to go fast, so are we. They had their defense pre-called, and they were ready. And they're going again.
What do we give Reggie White, half a sack on that one?
I'll give him all the sack if he wants it.
Third and 18 now. Kelly finds the man, Harmon. 3 men after him. The Harmon taken out of bounds at the 45-yard line. Andre Waters got him out of bounds. And on fourth down, the punt team is on.
Longest pass that Kelly's had today, completion, has been 22 yards. That's the biggest gain the Bills have had. You're supposed to be able to get big plays against the style of defense Eagles play, and so far the Bills have not been able to capitalize for a big play.
Here's Kidd's punt. Another high punt by John Kidd. Morris on a fair catch. He'll be spotted at about the 22-yard line. Eagle defense holds again, and Randall Cunningham has his offensive unit back with a big lead.
Oh, Ronald Light here?
Ask for Bud Light. The light beer with the first name and taste.
Let me know when you're ready for another round.
There are those who fervently believe that true perfection is found in the details. At the Bavarian Motor Works, we gave that belief a name. We call it the BMW 735i. Beautiful, to be sure. Yet perhaps the most beautiful thing about it is its spirit.
Users of nasal sprays invariably encounter the same problem.
Warm voice.
Sprays that roll out of their nose or drip back into their throat. To avoid this, they'll do just about anything. But now there's new Sinex Ultrafine Mist. Its medicine doesn't roll out or drip back. It goes up and stays up, and that makes it better. So try new Sinex Ultrafine Mist. It goes up and stays up. From Vicks, of course.
Give the Army Signal Corps 30 minutes, and they can turn a mountaintop into a satellite communication station.
Roger, Bravo 26, loud and clear. We got him! Find your future in the Army.
Today's game is brought to you by Bud Light, proud sponsor of the 1988 U.S. Olympic team. Everything else is just a light. By BMW, the ultimate driving machine. To arrange a thorough test drive, phone your nearest BMW dealer. And by Sinex Ultrafine Mist. It goes up and stays up.
Tom Hammond and Dave Casper, Reggie White. Now with 21 sacks this season, means he needs only one more to tie Mark Gastineau for the all-time one-season NFL record. Of course, he's done that in an abbreviated 1987 season. Eagles with the ball, first down at their own 22. He's fired. Gets about 3 to the 25-yard line. Scott Radicic makes the stop to continue to document the futility of this Buffalo Bill offensive unit. They only had 148 yards of total offense against New England a week ago, and about that same level this game.
Well, they blamed it on a 40-mile-an-hour wind last week, but the effect has been the same this week. No yards. So the Bills' offense is in a slump.
Bills with 54 yards on the ground, 180 for the Eagles. and 145 total yards today for Buffalo. Cunningham on a scramble. Incomplete. Giles got a hand on it, but couldn't pull it down.
One of the few misses he's had in the scrambling situation. And that is a good point. Cunningham scrambles, but he keeps his eyes downfield to see a receiver. If you scramble and then run all the time, your receivers will not continue to get open when you're scrambling, and you won't have that help.
Passing yards today, 177 for the Eagles, 91 for the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo was last shut out in 1985 when Miami beat them 28-0. And the Philadelphia defense last shut out a team last year when they blanked the Falcons 16-0. 3rd and 7. Cunningham under pressure. He goes down. He's sacked back at the 19-yard line. Cornelius Bennett will get that one. Bennett had 4.5 sacks coming into this game, which was second on the team behind Bruce Smith. And it's his 3rd sack of this game, the 4th for the Bills.
They're bringing 5 men. They're all down in the stance rushing. Cornelius Bennett comes around. The number 96 Fields makes the first type of force him out of the pocket. But 5 men down, 5 men rushing. They got to him that time.
John Telchik will punt it. Pitts is deep for the Bills. Low kick this time. Pitts at the 46. Trying to get behind the wall. He can't do it. He's wrapped up and taken down after he returned it only a couple of yards. Ty Allard, who is a top special teams performer for the Eagles, after a 36-yard punt, got him down.
A Big Mac attack could strike at any time.
You okay, honey? Honey? Where you going, Pumpkin? Hey!
Big Mac. Big Mac. Big Mac. Abner. Big Mac.
Big Mac?
And a Coke.
Nature reveals itself in patterns of infinite variety. But science had no way to simulate such complex patterns. Now, an idea from IBM is changing that. A special field of mathematics called fractal geometry, developed by Benoit Mandelbrot of IBM. Made from nothing but numbers, these fractal images exist only in a computer. Yet this fractal landscape looks as real as nature itself. Scientists are using fractals to explore new ways to tap the Earth's soil reserves and to study long-range pollution patterns. Fractal geometry, one of many innovations from IBM, and a new use of mathematics that's helping people understand how the world adds up.
Michigan's all-time leading rusher, Jamie Morris, leads the Wolverines against the Crimson Tide of Alabama and All-American Bobby Humphrey. Michigan battles Alabama at the Hall of Fame Bowl. January 2nd, college football's best and brightest are on NBC.
Back at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, where the chant has been Reggie, Reggie. Reggie White, 1 sack of tying Gastineau's record, 1 sack away. Kelly. Nice catch by Reed. He's close to a first down. I think across the first down marker. Gary Cobb got him by the shoelaces to trip him up. But it's an 11-yard gain and a first down for the Buffalo Bills. There's Reggie White. 21 sacks. He's gotten those in 12 games, where Gastineau had 16 games for his 22 back in 1979. Kelly's pass incomplete with a flag down. Jermaine Johnson closest to the ball. And it's out of bounds. And a flag against Philadelphia.
Illegal hands to the face. 38 defense. 5 yards. Automatic first down.
The flag against Russell Gary. 84, we understand, is when Mark Gastineau set that record of 22 sacks. Houston with a touchdown lead on the Bengals, bidding for the playoffs. Indianapolis now comfortably in front of the Buccaneers. Kansas City still surprising Seattle. The latest score was on a tackle-eligible play, a pass from Kenny to Mark Addix. Ronnie Harmon out of bounds. He got about So the Chiefs pulling out all stops. The tackle eligible goes for a touchdown, and they lead the Seattle Seahawks now 34-20. Here are the rest of the scores. Giants winning the Battle of New York. Dallas trying to keep the Cardinals for sure out of the playoffs.
People in Minneapolis are happy about that one.
Harmon coughs it up. Still loose. The Eagles are out. Eagles have it at the 35-yard line. Andre Waters gathers it in. Harmon lost it. The Bills were closest to it, but couldn't get it. And the Eagles fall on it. Here's Andre Waters.
Let's see what happened to Harmon. He just gave the ball up. I assume it was a reception. There's no reason to believe it wasn't. But Kelly's got to be wondering now. He's finally hitting receivers, although the ball is wobbling a little bit. And now they drop it. The Bills are just not, it wasn't meant to be so far in this game.
Jim Richer of the Bills had a shot at the ball, nobody around him, and he couldn't grab it. A long day for Kelly and company.
Grease pigskin.
Well, it hasn't been greased for Randall Cunningham.
Well, it hasn't. You're right there.
Maybe they're changing balls on possession.
Hey, it's home. You know, that's home field advantage.
Jackson on the reverse. Bills were ready for it. He got 3 or 4 yards.
Pretty good block by Randall Cunningham.
Nate Odo's will get credit for that tackle.
Watch number 12, Randall Cunningham. He's about 198 pounds. There's the first. Now watch him. You saw him right there. He blocked big linebacker Darryl Talley.
Well, he did a better job than Matt Darwin did. Number 78. He was sprawled on the turf and nobody around him.
He was a little quicker, can run a little better.
11:40 left in the game. 17-0 Philadelphia. Tony, good blocking on the corner. Tony bangs it out to the 45-yard line and close to the first down. Eagles controlling line of scrimmage.
The right side of their offensive line really has blocked well. Number 79, Conwell blocking down. Tamburello pulls. Get a lead block from Byers on Bennett. Look at that. Pretty good block in there. And then Tony comes out the other end of the pile, puts that head down, and comes out through the pile. That's a good football play.
There's Tamburello, the rookie from Auburn, who went on injured reserve back in August, only activated on the 17th of December in getting his first start today. The All-American played for Auburn, taken in the 3rd round of the draft. And there's Cornelius Bennett, who's out of Alabama. It was interesting to see an Auburn player blocking on the Alabama player. Meanwhile, the injured player is Shane Conlon.
You wouldn't want to see him hurt. That would be a lot worse than losing the game today for the Bills, losing that ball player, if this would hurt him for the long run.
Marv Levy naturally concerned.
His legs are moving. When ball players watch people down, the first thing we look for is to watch for the arms and legs to move. We know that they can sometimes repair your knees, but you certainly don't want to have the neck injured.
This is the last week of the regular season. We'll move to the playoffs, and you saw the wild card game, which will be coming up. There's Conlon, the first rookie to lead the Bills in tackles since Jim Haslett had 179 back in 1979.
Looks like he took a shot in his ribs or his back the way he's moving, like his wind was totally knocked out of him.
Conlon, the first team All-America selection on the national championship Penn State team of a year ago. Joe Paterno says the best linebacker he's ever had. Well, next Sunday, the countdown to the Super Bowl begins. We'll be bringing you the AFC Wild Card game. That's on January the 3rd. Check your local listings for the time in your area. As we'll begin the playoffs of a wild and wacky season. Who would have thought the Indianapolis Colts would be a divisional champion? And in the playoffs, they were last a year ago. They were 0-13 and won their last 3. But they were a better team before Eric Dickerson. And now, if they continue to lead Tampa Bay, they'll be in the playoffs as the divisional champion.
One thing the Colts can do is they can play defense as well as offense. They have a pretty good all-round team.
Tony Perjanik, second-year man out of Notre Dame and a free agent, replacing Shane Conlon. 3rd and 1, 3 tight ends in the formation. Cunningham tries to sneak it. And the Bills were expecting it. They stack him up. The spot of the football says, though, he got enough for the first down.
Well, the green moved the white that time enough. They fire out. They stay low. Randall Cunningham just gets behind his big guys. Ronald Cunningham's pretty strong, too. He's pretty long with being 6'4". If he just stretches that long body out, he's got a first down.
He's rushed 6 times for 46 yards today, over 500 on the season. Do you like the quarterback sneak? Do you think that's a good play with short yardage?
The greatest thing about it is when you hand to a deep back, and the linebacker can dive and meet him in midair. They can't dive and meet the quarterback because he gets there quicker.
Byers on first down, and a convoy of blockers, and they don't block anybody. Stopped for a loss by who else? Cornelius Bennett.
Hard to run away from somebody that's faster than you are.
He's faster than a lot of them.
But it's a sweep. You know what? Who's got the speed here? There was a safety. I think it was number 37, Nate Odoms, that got in there to slow the play down to give Bennett a chance. But hey, he didn't need much of a chance.
The offside linebacker from the outside completely out of the play, chasing it down from behind. Byers lost yardage there. He's got 91 on the day. Cunningham. Safety valve pass, nothing there. This time it's Pally, the linebacker, who gets there almost as quickly as the football.
Good pass defense. There was nothing downfield, and there was nothing in the flat. And Pally's a good ball player, too. He is really going to be one of these linebackers you don't hear about because Cornelius Bennett plays on the left side, but Pally's been playing well.
He's a second-round choice, 5-year veteran, was an All-American in West Virginia. In fact, he only weighed 185 pounds when he entered West Virginia as a freshman. Now 6'4", 227. Eagles have 20 first downs in the game to only 8 for the Bills.
A lot of people like to know his diet. And avoid those foods if you want to lose weight. He's the type of guy that works at Rod and Dangerfield, goes into the restaurant, looks at the menu, and says, "Okay."
That's you.
I have eaten in my life.
Bob McElwee. They're looking at the clock. It's the 30-second clock. And Shane Conlon, by the way, the diagnosis of his injury is a bruised back.
The 30-second clock to 10 seconds. 30-second clock was inoperative.
There's the call from McElwee. Shane Conlon does have a bruised back, and they tell us he could return in the game. That's good news. 4 for 9 on third down today in the Eagles. 8 minutes, 51 seconds left in the game.
The 10 seconds.
The Eagles' tendency in this situation is screen. They love to go to the screen, especially in long passing situations, because they're going to hit a zone, and the screen is good against zone.
Now we're down to the 10-second mark. There we go. We'll stop it there. The Eagles are ready. Shouldn't be any problem.
No, but everything has to be perfect for the official.
See the game clock. Cunningham threw it behind Kenny Jackson, his intended receiver, and Mark Kelso had a chance of intercepting it, but couldn't come up with it. Had some mustard on it, but was behind the receiver.
One thing, Cunningham sees a hole in the defense. He's not throwing the receiver. He's throwing the hole in the zone. Kenny Jackson has to realize he's in the hole in that zone and pull up. It was a situation where a zone defense was read by the quarterback, and he threw a pass that was good for the defense. The receiver, I don't think, read the defense as well as the quarterback and didn't make the adjustment on his route.
Kelchick on to punt for the Eagles. Kelchick has it almost blocked. Pitts at the 28. Well, the punter Kelchick went down, and we're going to have a penalty maybe or not.
Well, the ball was, they said they tipped the ball, but interesting thing, the punter was roughed, and the Bills people got hurt.
John Kaiser is the injured Buffalo player. Watch it again.
Now watch the tip. The official says they tipped the punt, but there's going to be a collision.
And no penalty. We'll be back.
No one would deny that the Japanese are aficionados of fine machinery. So when they reach that station in life when they can afford really fine machinery, guess what they buy? A car from Germany. called the BMW 325i, making BMW last year's #1 selling luxury import in Japan.
When the sun goes down, it's gonna light up the night. Silver label, red ribbon, a taste that's right. Gonna light up the night. Michelob Light. Gonna light up the night. Light up the night. Michelob Light. Gonna light up the night. Light up the night.
It doesn't matter where.
I looked up and there was no more ceiling, no more roof.
It doesn't matter when.
We didn't know where to turn.
The Allstate Catastrophe Team stands ready. A team of experts around the country ready to converge on any disaster.
My Allstate adjuster was here on the spot.
The Allstate adjuster showed me that he had the compassion for a person that really needs it. You're in good hands.
You're in good hands.
With Allstate.
That's for sure.
A member of the Sears Financial Network.
All the excitement and raw enthusiasm of college basketball is back on NBC. Next Saturday, Dean Smith leads the Tar Heels of North Carolina to battle Walt Hazzard and the Bruins of UCLA. College basketball, it's the stuff weekends are made of on NBC.
Buffalo Bills got a piece of that last punt, and they've been good at that this season. Meanwhile, John Kaiser, walking over in front of the Buffalo bench, was shaken up but appears to be okay. Bills with the first down at their own 34, trying to avoid the shutout. Kelly hit. Flag on the play. Reggie White going for that record-tying sack.
They should have laid off him. Official's not going to let you hurt the quarterback. He's too valuable. Number 92, Reggie White. He comes trying with the arm under. This is pretty good blocking by number 70, Joe Devlin, but he gets hurt. If you got to lay off that quarterback, you can hurt him.
Byron Evans, number 56, the man called for the penalty, and the ball taken all the way out to the 49-yard line. There's Evans. Had an interception earlier in the game, the rookie from Arizona with his first career pickoff. Eagles now penalized 45 yards in the game. Kelly with a flag down, delivers it to Reed. It's Burkett on the catch and fights his way out close to a first down with another penalty marker on the field.
Well, it was thrown with a ball holding.
Personal foul against Philadelphia.
Must have been a strike blow to the head.
Personal foul, head slapping, 74 defense, 15 yards from the end of the play.
They're calling that a lot this year.
Mike Pitts called for the penalty. This has been the Bills' best offensive drive of the day, the two penalties.
Tough to put that in the game plan, though. Now, in third down and 5, we need the official to be in this spot to make sure that we see them head slapping our offensive linemen.
Remember, the Philadelphia Eagles came into the game today as the
personal foul, head slap, 74 defense, 15 yards from the end of the play, first down.
Call again from Bob McElwee. The Eagles came in as the worst pass defensive team in the NFL. But they haven't given up a single point, and the Bills are able to take advantage of it. Some of it has been the rush put on to the Eagles. Kelly has a man open that time, and the pass is complete to Walter Broughton. He's inside the 10. Eagles wanted a fumble, but the officials say no. Terry Hogue was the man that took Broughton down. And the Eagles wanted a fumble.
At the end of the first half, this play was not completed. You notice he threw it shorter this time. He threw it underneath the secondary, so there was no interception.
They ripped the ball free, but the man ruled down by contact, and Buddy Ryan doesn't like it. He's about to lose his shutout. First and goal from the 9-yard line. See the clock at 7:35. Eagles lead it 17-0. Kelly's pass incomplete. Trumaine Johnson, the intended receiver, and Roynell Young was there with him.
Eagles come with a blitz from their safety. He gets picked off, but Kelly, he thinks this ball should be completed. He thought he could have caught it. But, Kelly's getting a little better. He's finally coming around. The ball was close.
Went right through the hands of Trumaine Johnson. I didn't know it was that close. Johnson should have made that catch. Really, it was high, but right through his hands.
It certainly was available to be caught.
Kelly, 16 of 32. Remember, he had that 60-game string of over 50% completions broken last week.
They're up there. They drop off.
Kelly completes to Trumaine Johnson. He's inside the 5. I said, Justin, it's Burkett again that made the catch. It was 85 instead of 86. Frizzell hit him hard and drove him out of bounds.
Kelly's getting protection now. The ball's thrown on a line.
Good hit by Frizzell.
Yeah, protect yourself.
Burkett now with 4 catches. Kelly's pass. Incomplete on 3rd down.
Well read by Waters. He was reading Kelly's eyes, and he cut in front. It was a good defensive play.
Andre Reed was in the end zone, but Kelly's pass not there. With a lot of traffic around, and it's 4th and goal.
Last week, the Bills went for it on 4th down twice in the game and didn't get it. They need to have success on this play. They've got to score a lot of points.
Crowd on to its collective feet here at Veterans Stadium with a 4th and goal from the 3-yard line. Philly leads at 17-0, less than 7 minutes to play. Flag down. The Bills have the touchdown to Reed. Let's check the penalty.
Defensive holding.
Defense. Henry McClung touchdown.
So the Buffalo Bills finally get on the scoreboard. Andre Reed is hurt after making the touchdown grab.
Now watch this blitz. 34 Terry Hogue gets picked off. Now Reed catches it. Oh, hit right in the legs. It's a dangerous. When the ball is low and your legs are straight, you're in danger.
Andre Reed, 3 years, played his college football in the state of Pennsylvania at Tucson State. Made 5 catches today for 57 on the year.
Looks like they're trying to fix something in his eye.
Kelly with his 19th touchdown pass of the season. Shaking off the doldrums here in the 4th quarter. Gives us a chance to check the other scores now. Houston still clinging to the lead. It's a 4-point ball. Indianapolis apparently on its way to a divisional championship. Kansas City upsetting Seattle. The Giants are going to win the Battle of Gotham. Dallas will knock the Cardinals out of the playoffs if that holds up. New Orleans has come from behind to take the lead. A Bobby Hebert pass. And Scott Norwood on the field to try the extra point for Buffalo. There's your holder, the punter kid. He spots it perfectly, and Norwood flips the upright. And a scuffle right at the 5-yard line. The officials are getting right in the middle of it. I'd get away from there.
Well, there was a flag thrown before that, the second flag about with this fight. I wonder if somebody didn't take some kind of a shot at an offensive lineman. A defensive person rushing didn't take a shot because the flag was thrown late like it was a personal foul. Somebody doesn't like it.
Dale Hammer, the head linesman, number 104 on his back. You see him down there right in the middle of that pile, down at the stack trying to separate him. Looked like a referee in a wrestling match. All I wanted to see was him pound on the turf there like the mat.
Offsetting personal foul, 59 Philadelphia, 88 Buffalo. Both after the play, offset.
Joyner of Philadelphia, Metzlars of Buffalo were the offending parties, working on the face of Andre Reed after he caught that touchdown pass. The Buffalo Bills, aided by 30 yards in penalties, cover 66 yards to get on the board. A reminder again, a great bowl lineup coming your way on NBC. On New Year's Day, we'll start it all off with a Fiesta Bowl at 1:30. The 5th-ranked Cornhuskers and the Florida State offensive unit, which is one of the best in the country, the once beaten Seminoles. Then in the Rose Bowl, USC against Michigan State, Pac-10 against Big Ten. And then to put the grand finale together, the Orange Bowl, top-ranked Oklahoma, second-ranked Miami for the national championship. Following the Rose Bowl, the Orange Bowl from Miami to decide college football champion. Saturday after New Year's Day for just a little piece of football, and then North Carolina UCLA basketball, college basketball, that same day, January 2nd. A lot of good sports action yet to come here at year's end and the start of 1988.
Every time I think of bowls, I think of food and bowls. I get hungry.
Well, you'll be at the food bowl.
Yeah. Cookie bowl.
The Eagles are expecting an onside kick. They have 10 or 9 men anyway. Just as Norwood got there. He never touched it.
The question is, though, did you get the idea by the way the guys are running down? They expected one. That's kind of an interesting thing. If there would have been an onside kick and they all would have looked for it, you would have given it away right there.
Let's try it again. Second time as a charm, and he doesn't try the onside kick. Taken by Morris. Got away from one man. Got away from another. Finally out of bounds at about the 27-yard line. Steve Tasker ran him out. Tasker out of Northwestern on the way to the Pro Bowl as a special teams performer. 14-yard return by Morris. First scoring drive of the day for the Buffalo Bills, helped by the penalties against Philadelphia. 30 yards in penalties. And now we expect the Eagles to try to work on the clock a little bit with 6:44 left. And they have a 10-point lead, 17-7. Pitch to Byers. Thrown back by the defense. Tony Perjanik, who replaced Shane Conlon, gets credit for that tackle. We understand Andre Reed, who was shaken up on the touchdown catch, got a finger in the eye. That was his injury. There's Reed, number 83, on the end of the bench. Those are those heated benches. That's been the hottest part of the Buffalo game today.
Heated benches. What's this game coming for?
199 yards for the Bills, but the Eagles closing in on 400. Spagnuolo goes in motion, and the pitch comes back to Tony. Tony picks his way to the 39-yard line, and he has an Eagle first down. Bruce Mesner, the rookie from Maryland, chases him down.
The offensive line got good blocks in this play, but Keith Byers stopped Cornelius Bennett, number 55. Watch this blitz, and Keith Byers is going to knock him down. Now the line can get the play going. You don't see Keith Byers, what he contributed there, but the offensive line did an excellent job, but Keith Byers allowed the play to get there. Here we go, boom, right in the midsection, knocked them down. Now look at Conwell and Tamburello. They're just man on man, and that really disrupts the pursuit of the linebacker. Good offensive play.
And Byers, I believe, trying to prove something to Buddy Ryan today. He's had a good game of blocking and running the football. Tries to run it this time and doesn't get much. Maybe a yard. Is that a flag that went down? I think it was. 17-7, just over 5 minutes left.
A little bit too much too late by Burroughs. They call him.
Derek Burroughs called for the penalty.
They say, hey, why? It's just football. Let me be a little bit too rough.
Keith Byers now has rushed 20 times for 96 yards. There's a piling on by Burroughs, who came flying into the
Jackson. There may have been a time when that penalty wasn't called, but I have to give the officials credit because there's so many of these scuffles now that we're having in football because a little bit too much of this intimidation. I think the officials got to tell the ball players, you play between the whistles, and when the whistle blows, you stop playing football. And enough is enough, and I like that call.
Bills have a couple of rookies in the defense. Leon Seals, they call him Dr. Sack, and Bruce Mesner. He's the kosher crusher. Tony straight ahead. Philadelphia Eagles blowing them off the line of scrimmage, and Seals and Mesner, the rookies from Jackson State and Maryland respectively, combining for the hit.
There's just a lot. They're getting extra line work in there. They have Schreiber, Fury, and Tamburello, and then they bring John Spagnola in there to help out. Just get a lot of green people that kind of blob them down the field.
And importantly for the Philadelphia Eagles is the fact that the clock keeps running at 4:04 and counting. Now inside 4 minutes.
Awfully young offensive line, but boy, you got to see for this game they have a lot of promise.
Myers trying to reach that 100-yard plateau, spinning forward. Got 4 or 5 yards. It'll be close to 100. Leon Seals and Cornelius Bennett, 2 rookies, stopping Myers.
Right behind Tamburello and Conwell again. The young rookie's doing pretty well. Look at Conwell come off, and he gets another block on Bentley. They're running combination blocks in there where you start on one man, turn him over to another man, and come off. Watch 79 Conwell right there start. He comes off and blocks Bentley. That is pretty sophisticated blocking for young people to be doing. That's excellent.
I don't know if you saw it or not, but Myers bounced up with a smile on his face as if he knew he was over 100 yards. Maybe he does. 102 for him this afternoon. He'll try to add to that total on the pitch, and he's going to go back under 100. Stop at the 40-yard line for a loss of the play by the kosher crusher, Bruce Mesner.
Well, you know, the play was blocked well at the point of attack, but Mesner's going to come from behind. He's going to come from over the center, Fury, and he's going to make the play from the weak side. They didn't cut the defense off. It was well blocked again over number 79 Conwell and 61 Tamburello, but Fury, the center, did not make his play that time.
4th down for the Eagles. But the clock now less than 2.5 minutes. You're right.
You're right.
Celtic 37.8 today. And Pitts, who's had a workout receiving the punt for the Bills, but has handled them flawlessly thus far. And a delay of game penalty against the Eagles. They let the clock run down.
At this point in the field, it doesn't hurt them one bit because they can't kick the ball very far anyway.
7th penalty against Philadelphia, 65 yards.
But 30 of those 65 yards came on 2 penalties.
And before we get to playoff, we'll have the 2-minute warning. Philadelphia in control. 2 minutes left in the season for these two teams. Marv Levy will not have a winning year in 1987. He's going to finish at 7-8. And his team just a little flat today after that devastating loss a week ago at home to the Patriots, 13-7. Buddy Ryan, though, can brag that his regulars had a winning season. If you take away the 3 losses during the strike, officially his record will be 7-8.
Now, it's never over until one of those women sing, you know.
Not pronouncing it over. Celtic is standing at the 40 to punt this one away with Pitts deep.
Stranger things have happened.
Well, that's true. I'll admit that.
I remember my old buddy Kenny Stabler used to pull games like this out somehow.
Pitts drops it.
Not that way.
Well, I said he'd handle the punt flawlessly thus far, and I put the hex on him.
That's not the way he's come back from certain defeat.
John Klingel recovers it. And there was a penalty against Buffalo, a holding penalty against the Bills. which will be declined, and the Eagles will have the football.
Boy, a play like that sort of dots the I or puts the exclamation point behind loss.
Holding 29 defense. Previous spot foul, 5 yards. First down.
Pitts calls for the fair catch and just can't handle it.
It just goes right through his arms. It's one of those days, and the day was not good for the Bills.
While we have a moment, we'd like to thank our spotters, Bill Friel and Mike McKay, and Rich Eisenman on staff for their help in the booth today. As the Eagles have a chance to pad those offensive stats.
Yeah, I think you're right now. I think the game is over. I'm going to pronounce them dead, too.
We'll learn to listen to me.
Yes, I will, sir. Next time I will not argue.
Toss the ball at the 25-yard line. Clock shows a minute 51. Backed up, a lot of white shirts. He drew a crowd after he got the handoff. There's Bennett right in the middle of things again. Leon Seals, though, was down at the bottom of the stack.
Somebody must be hurt because they're calling for people to come in.
And the Buffalo Bills stop the clock with a timeout as the fisticuffs continue. We'll take a break as the Eagles have it wrapped up. Philadelphia Eagles on the verge of victory. How have they done it? Well, they got a nice performance from Randall Cunningham, who hit on 15 of 20. They got an excellent performance from Keith Byers, who rushed for 100 yards. Mike Quick only caught 2 balls, but the Bills had to pay attention to him, and that opened it up for others. And McFadden hit a field goal to break the all-time Eagles record, his 91st. So a good performance by the Philadelphia Eagles. The Buffalo Bills. How would you sum up their rather listless performance today as we look at the Bills report card? First thing you'll look to will be the performance of Jim Kelly. Not a typical Kelly afternoon. Buehler, their leading rusher, just had 33 yards. Burkett did catch 4 balls for 50, but
when they throw 45 times, he better catch a few balls.
Keith Byers, who was shaken up on the carry, leaving the field under his own power. That's a good sign.
That is a good sign because I saw the ball players call for help in the sideline, and when that happens, you know that somebody in the field was screaming. And when somebody gets hurt and they scream, the ball players will immediately call for help because you couldn't see the injury, and that's scary when somebody screams in the field.
Byers has been plagued by the broken metatarsals, his broken feet, the right one in college, and then the left one here as a pro. But officially now 102 yards for Byers against the Bills. Michael Haddix replaces Byers and immediately gets the toss, takes it to the 20-yard line where he's stopped by Leon Seals.
The Bills call timeout again. That is one time when the ball players and the Bills, and I think I can feel with them. The last game of the year, Coach, we lost. Let us go home and let our wives tell us it's okay. I mean, it's just one of those games when